What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. We have a question here on the Turkey's Opinion, and that's always good for you guys when we have questions because that means we're going to make some weird or odd testing type of videos. So today we're going to do one, and it involves the 350 Legend. For those of you that don't know, 350 Legend is a straight wall hunting cartridge. It's pretty simple. It's based off of the 223 case, at least I think it is, but it's not much more than a straight walled 223. So as you can see, that has a soft tip bullet on it. It is a pretty fast mover. It will knock down a deer pretty good. We do have tests up on it. I would take a look. It's pretty cool. So what I'm interested in today is compatibility. The 350 Legend actually shoots a .355 diameter bullet, just like a 9mm. So next to there is a 9mm round right there. That's a Nosler. And next to that is a 380 ACP. That's actually a SIG Elite Performance V Crown. So these all have the same diameter projectile and roughly the same case diameter. So if not the exact, I checked it a little bit. I can't remember. I checked this a while ago. I decided I was going to do it, and I want to know if they're going to be able to be shot out of at least a single shot break action. Of course, you're not going to get these things to cycle through an AR or anything like that. A bolt gun would have a really hard time picking these things up, but a single shot, you can pretty much stuff anything you want in there. I've already checked it out. They go in, they hold on the extractor. I'm pretty sure we're good to go. If you do it excessively, I'm sure you could get a carbon ring or something like that, but I've never done it. I looked it up. I don't see anybody else doing it. I tried to look it up on forums and threads. Didn't really see anybody talking about it. It just goes to bullet diameter and bullet compatibility with 350 Legend. Nobody's really trying to shoot it out of the single shots. That I've seen. Maybe some of you have. Let us know in the comments if you've done it and what kind of results you've got, but we're definitely going to do it today. I'll shoot a 350 Legend first, this American whitetail stuff. This is a 350 Legend 170 grain soft point. It's just your average whitetail deer hunting cartridge. So that is something that I would use out of this rifle very easily. So I'll go ahead and I'll run just to make sure, we'll do factory stuff here first. We'll do 9mm Luger 115 grain jacketed hollow point from Nosler. That's their Nosler ASP line. Not a really good high quality ammo, but it's perfect for what we're doing today. I'm not saying it's low quality. It just seems to be kind of cheap on the shelves. And then what we're doing for 380 is, I believe I told you already, but SIG Elite Performance V Crown, and that is a 90 grain jacketed hollow point. SIG makes really good ammunition, and as long as it goes in there and hangs off the extractor, I don't know why it wouldn't shoot. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to send this stuff through the chronograph. We have a Garmin. Hopefully we'll be able to pick that up. We're going to ring steel. We're going to ring some targets to make sure they're not tumbling too bad or doing anything weird, and just see what happens. I don't expect anything bad to happen. I mean, this thing's made to handle 350 Legend. The worst we're going to do is split a case or just have a problem extracting, or possibly lose one down into a little deeper into the chamber, something like that. Maybe blow a primer, but nothing's going to blow the gun up. This is not dangerous. Plus, besides, I totally hate saying this, but we're professionals, so somehow, some way, we're allowed to do this. And if everything goes right with initial testing, we'll probably just have some fun, because inside here I have basically a basket of 9mm junk. I have no idea where any of this stuff actually came from. I got it from a range when I used to work at it, but I don't know who made it. I'm sure it's all a bunch of reloads, but I don't think it can hurt this rifle, even if they were loaded to the max. All right, so the 350 Legend first, this American whitetail hunting ammunition. We're going to go ahead and put one on the steel, and we'll see where it lands. I got to back up, try to get a chronograph reading. We'll put one on the steel just for fun. And very nice, top of the red. 2288 was our feet per second out of there. So that'll be useful information going down the road. So just a regular old smack on the steel, but a pretty good loud one. I wasn't exactly aiming for the dead center. I kind of don't know where my holdover is with that specific scope, but that sets the standard. Let's go ahead and play around, see what we can get done with the other stuff. So 115 grain Nosler, jacketed hollow point. It's going to go ahead and slip right in there like a 350 Legend would. Fits in there actually very nicely. Catches right there on the extractor on the groove and closes up nicely. So hammer back like normal. I really don't think there's anything to worry about. I'm going to use the same crosshair to see if I hit in the same place. You ready, camera guy?
Yep.
That felt like a baby coming out of there. It had 1,002.6 feet per second on the Garmin. I think we hit in relatively the same spot. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that again on paper. First, I guess you guys are definitely going to want to see this brass, so I'll pull it out. We seem to have a good primer strike as far as I know. That's actually a really deep, nice primer strike. Nothing crazy has happened to the gun. It is still in one piece. And if we go ahead and look at the brass, my fingers are going to be dirty. I've been playing with ammo all day, but we do have a little probably a little bit of gas blowback around the cartridge. Didn't get a perfect seal, but we did not have any case cracking that I could see. Everything looks pretty good about it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put one on paper. I'm not going to be totally zeroed to that bullseye, but I'll hold the same time for each ammunition just so that we know we're getting somewhat of a true representation. Well, actually, yeah, I'll go ahead and use the center crosshair now. Pretty close, a little bit left. That actually really stinks. We do get a little bit of gas blowback. 1070.6, and that feels like absolutely nothing coming out of this gun. Absolutely nothing. Time to move on to the 380. I'll go show you the target real quick. So on the steel, we actually moved up. I didn't see it up there. There's a little flake of lead still on there, but we moved up a little bit. So it did change the point of aim, point of impact a hair. I did go to the top crosshair and I was aiming here and ended up over here. So it might not be the best bullet flight path, or it might have just been my shooting. Could have something to do with velocity, but we did move over to the side, or it could just be the scope on that gun for all I know. But I'm pretty sure it's zeroed as far as left and right. It's the up and down that changes depending on what distance I've been shooting at. Let's try the 380. But I actually just thought of something here. We might have an excessive velocity loss. I'm not too sure. We have a velocity on the box that's supposed to be 1170, and that's going to be out of a pistol, but we're getting 1070 out of this rifle. Now, 9mm out of a 16-inch barrel sometimes can act a little bit funny. Sometimes the longer the barrel you have, after a certain point with 9mm, you do lose velocity. So let's grab a Glock, because everybody loves Glocks. I mean, some of you do, but let's grab one of those real quick and we'll shoot one of these rounds over the chronograph just to see if there's a difference there. All right, we have a Glock 17, but not any ordinary Glock 17. I made sure that this one was 3 different colors, and I made sure I scratched it like in the first hour of owning it. But I wanted a cooler Glock than most because Glocks are pretty boring. But let's see what we do as far as velocity. I'm not actually going to aim at that plate. I'll aim at something in the woods and probably not hit it, but did not hit it. I hit the post it was on. We had 1132, so we're actually getting more velocity out of the Glock. So interesting, but not totally unexpected. All right, let's move on to these little 90 grain jacketed hollow point V-crown buggers. Teeny weeny little 380 ACP out of a 350 Legend. Who would have thunk it? It's fun, because that is nothing. We landed real close to the 9mm. We got an 803.9 feet per second. Then let me look on this box again. It's written on here somewhere. Oh yeah, 980 feet per second was advertised. So I do not have a 380 pistol. I can assure you of that. But I'll load one up here in the 9mm soon. So I'll pull an extra one out of there. But in the meantime, let me put another one on paper. We'll look at the case here real quick. It's a little smoky. I do see some bulging at the front of the case. So let me get it in one of my cleaner portions of my hand. So I see some bulging here. You can see what would be a little bit, about, I'd say, I don't know. I can't measure that really well. It's definitely a lot more than a 1/4 inch, but you can see it right there. You can see a bulge going forward. So that would not be a fun piece to resize. And you can see where some gas blew back around it. So that could be some of this velocity loss. We do have a deep primer strike in there. Nothing blew back or blew out. We did not have any case head separation or anything. So yeah, let me grab a piece of that 9mm and just make sure we weren't seeing evidence of that before. I really don't feel it and I really don't see it, but that's not to say that it's not there, but it's definitely noticeable on the 380. All right, I'm going to put one on paper just for fun. It feels so weird putting that teeny tiny little cartridge in there. Kind of like messing with a 22. That shot really low, but it actually shot within the right and left just fine. 785.8. Let's go ahead and take a look at that target before we shoot the Glock. All right, I think that was the 380, so it kind of met the difference almost in between, but it moved over a little bit to the left. And that was the 380 here on paper. So that's about how far we are away from the bullseye, but that doesn't really matter because of zeroing situations. They did appear to both hit at least semi-straight on. They didn't tumble. They didn't hit sideways at least. And just for another learning adventure, yes, you can shoot 380 out of 9mm, usually as long as the extractor grabs on properly and holds it like it just did. So this is about a 4.5-inch barrel, I think. and shoots it just fine. It won't eject it properly. It won't function properly, but you'll get at least one shot out of a 9mm. And as far as the case bulging, I can visibly see a little bit of case bulge here just in the Glock version of this test here. So the 380 does have a little bit of a case bulge in exactly the same spot pretty much. Velocity did improve though to 937.2. So yep, we do lose it in the rifle. It's not ideal, but it can be done. So in a pinch, you can basically take any random crap 380 because case length or cartridge length doesn't matter. Nothing like that really matters. And you can pretty much shoot away. Who cares? You're not trying to reload this stuff. This is just, like I said, random stuff. I don't know where half this stuff came from. These are just rounds that I've collected over the years. You're not going to worry about this gun blowing up, and it will throw a projectile downrange. All right, so as long as we're hitting the plate, we're not having any problems. I don't recommend doing this, like I said, but it's kind of fun to mess around. Let me grab something out of the junk drawer. All right, there's some junk drawer ammo. We have a hollow point. We have a brass colored one. We have a lead round. We have a red round. So a lead, a red, a hollow, a brass. Let's start with a hollow point. I don't know what it is, where it got left from. But it definitely goes. All right, I'm going to move on to the brass colored one. It goes. I'm going to move to the lead colored one. And then I'm going to clean it out with the red colored one. And then people inevitably are going to ask, can you shoot a 350 Legend after that? Because I heard a big boom in the round. Somebody's shooting something really cool. People love to blow things up around me. So here's a 350 Legend. Now people are going to talk about a carbon ring. And let's see, it normally has a hard time going in. So that's just that ejector. That's all these 350 rounds in this gun. So, but now once it's in, boom, it goes in, no problem. It closes up and hopefully it doesn't blow up. It definitely goes boom though. And will there be an extraction issue due to a carbon ring? No. Maybe a little extra fouling. We'll have to clean that chamber out, but no big deal. I say it's a winner chicken dinner for at least an emergency situation, if not a fun situation here and there. I probably wouldn't recommend the 380. The 380's bulging a case. It's losing a lot of velocity. You might end up with a squib situation, but I'm probably going to say 9mm will be just fine. Is it perfect? Would it be accurate at distance? Probably not, but like I said, in a pinch. And at least from that distance, they're all hitting the target. It's always cool when you can get away with shooting different cartridges out of a rifle or a pistol, even if you're not supposed to. It's not recommended, doesn't mean you can't do it. There's a revolver out there that shoots about like 15 different cartridges, but not everything else can do it. So you have to be careful. Like I said, don't try this at home. I have to tell you that, but you're going to do what you want anyway. Hope you enjoyed these type of videos. Hope to see you at the next one. Until then, stay safe, have fun, and keep shooting. Maybe even the odd stuff you're not supposed to.